Hello and welcome to future YouTube viewers to this video in which I will be going over and exposing one of the worst examples of the predatory nature of capitalism that I've ever experienced in my life. Okay, so we're going to be going into it and we're going to be getting into the details. So just a bit of background for you. A couple of years ago, I worked for a collectible coin company. Now, I'll go into the details of how it worked and how it operated, but the simplest way that I can put it is this. This company would essentially sell coins to people, mainly old people, and that's it. Okay? That's the simplest way that I can think of describing it. However, the truth of the matter is, this is an absolutely enormous grift and a scam and a sham. And I'm going to be getting into it and I'm going to be going over it, okay? Now, just to preface this, I want to say, this isn't me giving you advice about whether to buy gold or silver or not, okay? I'm not equipped to understand what your needs are as to whether you would need to purchase that sort of thing. Okay, so I'm not here to tell you to buy anything. This isn't about telling you to buy gold or crypto or anything like that. Forget all that, okay? This is simply a segment in which I plan to hopefully very clearly lay out the nature of the business, how it works, how it makes money, and why it's a grift, okay? I wanted to make that clear because we'll be going over some stuff with gold and how the gold buying and selling works. I just didn't want anyone to think it was any form of advice, okay? So that's the first point. The second point is it's been a couple of years since I left the company. They fired me essentially. Basically, I wasn't performing. I'll get into the detail of this, but I was struggling to perform with the targets they were setting. And I'll go into that a bit later, okay? But I got fired basically. I have spoken about this on stream before, but I wanted to go through it again and really nail down on the details so people can understand how bad it is. So before we get into the details and before I kind of lay out the details of the scam and how it works and so on, what I need to do is give you an extremely quick education, okay, like a very, very quick education on how gold works. So what I mean by that is running you through how the buying and the selling of gold works, okay? Because this is a fundamental thing you need to understand in order for me to then explain about the coins, okay? So, how does gold work? So, with any commodity like gold, silver, platinum, whatever it is, okay? There's a few things you need to understand. Now, the first thing you need to understand is what is the spot price of gold. So the spot price of gold is the current live value of gold. So and that's influenced by like a whole host of things, okay? I'm not like an economist or a commodities expert, so I wouldn't be able to tell you exactly what goes into that. But in any case, it's the current live value of gold. So at the moment, 1 ounce of gold, the spot price for that, so the value of that for 1 ounce of gold is £1,335.81. Okay? So that's the current value of gold. Now, how does the buying and selling of physical gold work? So, gold is formed into, obviously they mine the gold wherever they mine it, and then gold is formed into different forms. So you get like bars of gold. If anyone's seen like a Hollywood film where they have a heist, and they go into the bank and they get all the bars of gold, that's like a bar of gold you can have, and that ranges in weights. You can get ones that are like grams all the way through to ones that are kilograms and higher once again, yeah? So you can get different sizes. Now, for a number of reasons, one popular way of owning and storing commodities, including gold, is to buy a coin, right? So you buy like a different type of coin that's made of gold. And there's a number of different types of gold coins that are available that are made in mints around the world. So in the UK, the most popular, probably, I mean, there's different types even within the UK, but one of the most famous, prominent, and popular types of gold coin from the UK is the sovereign, right? And the sovereign has got a very rich history, dating back hundreds of years. We don't need to go into the exact details of like the history and stuff, but it's got a very rich history, which is why it tends to be quite popular. Okay. Now, across the world, you've got like the Krugerrand from South Africa. You've got the American Eagle, the Canadian Maple Leaf. There's a number of different gold coins from around the world that are very popular, and all of them have got a history that you can go and look into and explore in more detail if you want to. Okay. But the key point here is about how the buying and selling of these coins work. Okay. So you see here, the current price of gold was changed actually just then. Look. The current price is £1,335 and 2 pence. Okay? So if that's the spot price of gold, how do companies like this, Bullion by Post, so they're buying and selling coins all the time, how do they make their money? Well, it's really quite simple. So let's look at a coin here. So if we look at, for example, wait a sec. If we look at a 1 ounce gold Britannia, okay, to keep it simple, right? So if you're looking at a 1 ounce gold Britannia, if you wanted to buy a 1 ounce gold Britannia, bearing in mind the current price of gold is £1,335.70, this bullion dealer will sell you one of these coins for £1,421, right? And the more that you buy, the lower price it becomes. Yeah. But even if you were to buy 1,000 of these, you're still paying £1,403. So obviously this isn't an exact science, but if you were to do the maths on that, okay. So if you were to get your calculator up, and you were to take 1403. And you were to minus off 1,335, so that gives you £68 times 1,000. So even if you were to like buy 1,000 coins, the company would essentially make, give or take obviously their overheads and whatever. But in terms of the money they make, it would be £6,800, right? Obviously more if they've purchased these coins at a lower price previously, because the price of gold goes up and down. Yeah. So what if you're selling one of these coins? So if you're selling a gold coin, a 1 ounce Britannia, yeah, they'll give you £1,282.25. So these buying and selling prices, right? These buying and selling prices are kind of within a reasonable boundary of what the current price of gold is. But just a couple of years ago, an ounce of gold was only worth about £1,000. So you would have been selling your coins, your 1 ounce Britannias to this bullion dealer for about 960 quid, right? So they're making even more money on coins that they've purchased previously, and they've benefited from the price of gold going up, yeah? So hopefully this is making sense so far. Hopefully this is all making sense. Really simple. The idea with gold is you buy it for the lowest price you can, and you sell it for the highest price you can, right? And some people will purchase gold, it's like as a speculative purchase with the hope that the value will increase over time, yeah? Pretty simple stuff, pretty straightforward investment type stuff, right? So that's what is known as bullion coins or bullion gold. So you're basically trading the gold based on the intrinsic value in the metal. By intrinsic value, obviously what I mean is the value that society places on gold, right? Because obviously it doesn't really have any intrinsic value except the value that we as a society put on it. But moving away from like the lefty type thought processes, it was called the intrinsic value, yeah? So that's gold coins. Now, further to that, you have something called numismatics, okay? What does numismatics mean? So numismatics is essentially the study and collection of currency. It's basically the hobby of collecting coins, right? So some people will buy coins not because of the intrinsic value or anything like that. They'll buy coins because they just like collecting coins. They're just a collector, yeah? And that's what numismatics is all about. Now, some people that are into numismatics aren't interested in the value, they aren't interested in the price going up or anything like that. They just buy it because they like it. However, in some cases, certain coins that have got a rarity factor, right? Some coins that have got a rarity factor, it can have a significant impact on the value of that coin, okay? So, basically, when it comes to this, it's a combination of rarity and desirability, right? Because at the end of the day, with any of this stuff, a coin or anything is only going to be worth as much as someone is willing to pay for it, okay? So, let me show you an example of this quickly. So this is the 1933 double eagle, okay? Do people here know what a double eagle is? Cointastic. Hi, Transnational. How's it going? Okay. Well, listen, we don't need to go into the details, okay? Here's the key information that you need to know. Okay? This is an approximate 1 ounce gold coin, okay? So, in theory, this is a 1 ounce gold coin, therefore, it should be worth whatever the price of gold is that it's sold at, right? So about £1,300, yeah? Technically, it's a gold coin, it should be worth that. However, for a number of reasons, which goes into quite a lot of history, okay, these coins were melted down. So you can see here, there were 445,000 of these coins made, okay? Right? But a lot of them were melted down. Now that's because basically in the 1930s in America, they removed the gold standard and moved to a fiat currency system, to put it simply. So much of the gold was collected and much of it was melted down as well. So a lot of these coins ended up being melted and they were no longer, okay? All but 2 were ordered to be melted down. 20 were rescued from the melting and they were stolen and found their way online and stuff like that. So bear in mind, this coin is 1 ounce, okay? Its gold worth is about £1,300 as of today. However, in 2002, a private collector paid $7.59 million for this coin, which has got gold in it that today is worth about $1,700, say. Yeah? So, but this is the thing, Scribble. For like a collector, the historical significance and relevance of this coin is enormous, yeah? I won't bore you with the details because it is kind of dull if you're not into coins, but there's a lot of history that means that a top-end collector would be wanting to pay this kind of money for this coin, yeah? So this is like owning a piece of history. This is the equivalent of buying like the Mona Lisa or something like that, but for coins, right? That's the concept and the idea behind it. And what's even more incredible is this is a gold coin, and I want to focus on gold because it's easier to make it all relative. But there's even like silver coins and some coins that aren't even a precious metal. Because of the rarity of them, they are worth millions and millions and millions of dollars. Really interesting if you're into it, but I don't want to delve too much into it, okay? The rarer or more collectible something is, the higher the value. That is more, you're more or less there, but it's about how desirable it is as well, which we'll get into, because this is all of this is important. This is all essential information that you have to know in order to really understand what I'm going to talk about, okay? Now, further to that, this is a more kind of recent development over the past 40 or 50 years that this has become more of a sort of prominent thing in the coin collecting scene. There's something called proof coins that have become quite popular. So let's just go into that quickly, okay? So this just goes into the details here. The Royal Mint strikes coins to 3 different standards for investors and collectors, okay? So proof coins are essentially high quality commemorative. So basically, every coin we've been talking about so far are what are known as bullion coins. So bullion coins, the focus is primarily on mass production of the coin. They want to have the ability to strike or to make thousands of these in the course of a few minutes, okay? So they literally just rattle them off. It's like bang, 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 bang. They go through the machine, all collect up, okay? So the focus isn't so much on the quality of the minting of the coin, it's about mass producing them, yeah? So producing them as quickly as possible to yeah? So look, 250 gold and 3,000 silver coins per hour. Yeah? And then there's Brilliant Uncirculated, which we're not going to go into too much, but that's a little like a step above Bullion. But what I was talking about is this. So proof coins, okay? So proof coins are commemorative coins. So they're minted and made to a much higher standard. Like a much higher standard than a regular bullion coin, okay? You can see the difference if you compare the two side by side. Let me see if I can actually just find a quick picture of it to show you. So, bullion versus proof. Look, here we go. So those are the different qualities. That's proof here. So proof, you have like this kind of frosting on the design. And that's just the standard bullion one. That's Brilliant Uncirculated. But bullion and proof, okay? So that basically it looks a lot shinier, okay? It looks a lot shinier, first of all. That's the first point to mention. Now, with proof, not only do they focus on higher quality, but proof coins are minted in much lower numbers. Proof coins used to be the coin that the mint made initially as like a proof of concept for the coin. So they would base their designs on that, to put it really simply, yeah? But now, mints will make a small number of proof coins, okay, in order to sell them as a collectible item, right? So, broadly speaking, how it tends to go is people that are buying bullion coins are doing it for the raw investment potential of the gold metal value, yeah? And it's supposed to be, okay, people that buy proof coins, right, are doing so as a collectible, and that's it, only as a collectible, okay? Now, that's the background, that's the groundwork set for how all of this works. So now that you understand that, you're going to be able to understand everything else that I talk about now. If there's any questions or you're not sure about anything, please feel free to ask in chat and I'll do my best to answer any questions you've got, okay? Now, let's move on to the coin company grift. Now, here's the thing. There's a number of different coin companies that operate. It's confusing because some of them have got different names, but they're owned by the same people, right? And what I don't want to do is kind of go into, oh, this company does this, that company does that, and then like make a mistake and get it wrong or something like that. So what I'm going to do is this. We're going to create today our very own coin company, okay? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to create a brand new coin company, okay? What fonts have we got here? We're going to be called... Okay, no, it's not Chud Coin. No. I'm gonna call it the name so it sounds like a company that would sell coins, right? So we're gonna be called. Wait a sec. Westminster Portfolio Coins. Okay. Now the reason that this name is important, okay, is because these companies, and I'll list a few. You've got Coin Portfolio Management, Westminster. Hattons of London, Harrington and Byrne, okay? These companies will call themselves things, and a lot of this you need to bear in mind, okay? A lot of this is boomer bait. So they will call themselves things that they know that boomers are going to be like, ooh, Westminster Portfolio Coins, how very, very nice, right? So they call themselves things that the boomers are like, ooh. Yeah, you get it? Can I change that? Oh yeah, I can, there we go. Chuddle Smiths and Sons. Wait, I'm trying to find like a good... God, these... Wait, what's this? No, that's no good. I'm trying to find like a font that looks kind of like... No, that's no good either. God, these fonts are terrible. Okay, that'll do. So we're going to be called Westminster Portfolio Coins, okay? In fact, let's make it like... There we go. So we're called Westminster Portfolio Coins, okay? This isn't exactly how I'd want it, but it will do. It will do. Comic Sans. Comic Sans. I know, I need to get a new thing. But there's more. We're going to be called Westminster Portfolio Coins of London. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. This is the kind of stuff they call themselves, okay? I'm not messing about. You'll see in a sec. You'll see in a sec, okay? This is the kind of stuff they call themselves. Okay, it's not quite what I wanted, but that'll do, okay? That's close enough. That's close enough. Okay, right. Let's increase the size of this bad boy. Let's whiff this up. 1,500 by 1,000. Let's go. Oh no, hang on. That isn't quite what I wanted. Can I just crop that out? There we go. Okay, so Westminster Portfolio Coins of London. Okay, yeah, of London, of England, of Great Britain. I mean, we could go on forever with this. Okay, we could get really silly with it, but for now, Westminster Portfolio Coins of London. Okay, so what you need to understand is that these. So this is the grift. Okay, there's 3 different strands of grift that's engaged in with these companies, okay? Some of them engage, most of them engage in all of it. Some of them only engage in some of it, okay? But it's all really bad. And another thing to note as well is that there are some reputable coin dealers that exist that don't engage in this behavior, right? They're more honest. Yes, you pay a premium with them sometimes, but the premiums aren't nearly as much as you see with some of these companies, which we'll get into. And they're far more honest, and they've got a passion for actual coin collecting and numismatics, okay? So this isn't an indictment of every single coin company that exists. But there are specific ones, which have got names that sound very similar to this, okay? That definitely do engage in at least one of these behaviours, which we'll go into, okay? So, what is the first strand of grift? Okay, here we go. Oh, the police are coming. Big coin. Big coin are onto me, people. Big coin are coming to crack down on me. Okay, so the first grift we've got is what I call... Oh, God, the text is all stupid now as well. Let me change it to like Arial or something just basic. Okay, there we go. So we've got the official proof. Oh, God. I need to get another system. This is rubbish. Proof coin grift, okay? No, that's no good. This isn't... This isn't working how I'd hoped. Okay, I'm not going to lie. Okay, let's try again. So we've got the official proof coin grift, okay? And also, one other thing I want to make clear as well is like, this is the tip of the iceberg. There's other, and all of them follow a similar theme. There's other things as well that I could show you, but I just won't have time to show you everything. But yeah, maybe at the end I'll show you as a little treat for the stream, okay? So, the first thing we've got is the official proof coin grift. Now, what I mean by official proof coin is when I say like an official proof coin, I'm kind of speaking in like simplicity. What I mean is a coin that's been released by like a mint. So there's certain mints around the world that have got quite a lot of prestige and renown, and they're like bullion coins are genuinely attractive to people on the whole, right? So you've got like the South African mint, you've got the Australian mint, the American mint, the Canadian mint, I can't remember the exact names of them, and then in the UK you've got the Royal Mint, okay? So, let me show you this. So here's what happens, here's how it works, okay? Here's how it works. So every year, the Royal Mint will release a sovereign. And they release other coins, but we're going to focus on the sovereign for the purposes of this, okay? So every year, they release a gold bullion sovereign, as I talked about earlier. And as well as that, they release a proof version of the coin, okay? Hey! Oh my god, Supreme! Thanks so much for the raid. Really appreciate it. Hope you're good. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Okay, so every year, welcome raiders, welcome. So every year, they will release. Here we go. This is it. So this is the next year's edition of the coin isn't out yet, but I'll use it as a comparison just to give you a bit of insight. Okay, so it's not an exact like-for-like comparison. It's different years of coins, but it gives you an idea. Okay, so you can currently purchase the sovereign, the 2020 gold bullion sovereign, for £339.63. Okay, so that's the value of the gold plus like a bit of a premium on top. Okay, so that's for like the minting of the coin, for the fact that they're packaging it, send it to you, all that stuff, right? But that's essentially, you know, you might get a cheaper deal at other dealers, but more or less that's the kind of similar price to what you're going to pay for the coin. Yeah, you with me so far? So you're more or less paying as pretty much as you can get it closer, but pretty close to what the value of the gold in it is, with a bit of a premium on top. So the Royal Mint can make their money on it, and so on, right? So what the Royal Mint will also do, and bear in mind, this is for next year because they released the Proof Sovereign a few months early, okay? So what you've got here, let me find it quickly. So if we go to Sovereign, okay? So you can currently purchase, and bear in mind how much the Bullion Sovereign was, right? You can currently purchase the 2021 Sovereign, so that's next year's. There's only 7,995 that have been made. And you can purchase that from the Royal Mint directly for £580, okay? So, as you can see, that's a premium on top of just the gold value. And the theory is what you're paying for is the extra quality, the fact it's limited edition, and so on, okay? Now, if you're a collector and you want to buy a proof coin because it looks nice and you want to add it to a collection that you've got, fair enough, yeah? That's your decision to do so. As long as you understand it, you're paying a premium. It's not just the value of the gold. You're paying above and beyond what the actual gold is worth, okay? But as a collectible item, if you like that kind of thing, if that's up your street, fair enough, okay? That's your right as a consumer. As a consumer to go and do that, okay? Now, this is the Royal Mint. So this is just like a mint that makes the coins, right? They're just trying to make money on their operation, yeah? Looks like waste. Some people would see that. That's fair enough. Look, I wouldn't go and spend money on a proof gold coin. Some people do, you know. Some people spend a lot of money on coins, right? But just to be clear as well, and I want to make this clear now before I go into it later, don't think that the people that we're talking about are all mega rich, like super millionaires or whatever, and so we shouldn't care about them getting taken advantage of, okay? The vast majority of people that I engaged with were working class old people, working class boomers, okay? Who had existed their whole life, struggled and strived under capitalism, have managed to get a bit of money set aside when they're like 60, 70, 80, and they're looking for somewhere to put it to keep it safe, okay? And they've maybe got like £1,000, £2,000, which sounds like a lot of money. But imagine if you've lived for 60, 70, 80 years and you've got £2,000 to show for it at the end. Like, And even if you've got 5 grand or 10 grand, it's not like an enormous amount of money considering you spent your whole life saving for it. So it's very, very important that you understand that the people that I was dealing with and the primary customers of these businesses are not mega rich millionaires. Most of them are working class, and you'll see with some of the payment plans how people get targeted, right? Make sense? You with me? Cool. So where do the coin companies come in? So we've looked at the official mint. They've got the bullion coin and they've got the proof coin. Okay? Where do the coin companies come in? Well, to demonstrate this, allow me to just show you something quickly. Okay? Allow me to show you something quickly. So oh, actually, sorry, there's one more thing I want to note as well. Sorry. So, what the Royal Mint have done, and this has caused quite a lot of frustration amongst collectors, okay? Oh no, the Royal Mint is a private company. It's not actually the government as such, it's a private company. Listen, what the mints have started doing on some occasions, and the Royal Mint in particular is really bad at this, is on the proof coins, in the last couple of years, they've started to add what's called a mint mark. So it's basically this little mark here. Okay. By the 2021, it's like a little crown. And what they do is they essentially just they think every year, oh, what can we commemorate this year? Oh, it's the Queen's 95th birthday. Stick a fucking crown on the coin. Make it a bit more special, right? And it wasn't always the way. They used to commemorate every 5 years or 10 years, there'd be something that comes up that they commemorated. But now with the sovereign, they're doing it every year. They're just finding any old shit to stick on the coin. Oh, wait a sec. It's the Queen's dog's owner's second, third, cousin's anniversary birthday thing. Okay, yeah, just, I don't know, stick a fucking paw print on the coin. Just stick something on it, okay? To fuck it, I don't know, whatever you want. So the mint has started to do this, right? And this becomes important too. Now, where do the coin companies come into all this? Where does the grift come in from these other companies? Allow me to explain. So this company is called Westminster. This is one of the companies that I'm referencing that does some of these things, and I'll explain to you what's happening here, okay? Wait. Is this it? Is that it? Yep, this is it. Okay. So, this is the same coin that we were just looking at. So this is the 2021 gold proof sovereign. So on here, you'll notice that it's £580. But with Westminster, it's £625. Yeah, boycott. You're right. These names are specifically chosen to make it sound like they're affiliated with the government in some way. It's despicable. Anyway, so you'll see they're charging a bit more for it, which is intriguing. Okay. Don't worry. We'll explain that in a little bit, okay? But let me break this down for you because there's actually quite a lot going on here that you might not notice on the first glance. So let's go over this, okay? So the first thing to note, and this plays into what I was saying earlier about some of these people being kind of desperate, okay? You can pay monthly for this coin. £62.50 as the down payment. And I don't know... Yeah, look, 9 interest-free payments are £62.50. So you can pay for this coin over 10 months. What does that tell you about the kind of customer that they maybe are hoping to hook in with this? Interesting. Intriguing. Right? So that's the first point. Right? So the coin companies will offer installments on it, right? Now, the second aspect you need to understand in terms of this is the following. And this again becomes really important as we go on, okay? So companies such as Westminster and the other companies, and also our company, don't forget, Westminster Portfolio Coins, okay? Here's what happens. So, you might get a bit ahead of me here, but stick with me. So, they will go ahead, okay, and they will purchase large allocations of official mint coins, yeah? You might see where this is going. Maybe not. Depends what your thought process is. But look, so let's take it one step at a time. So what they will do is, so our company, Westminster Portfolio Coins of London, they will approach the mint and they will say, okay, so we see you've got 7,995 of these sovereign coins, right? I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll purchase 1,000 of these. And we'll purchase them for, I don't know, 400 quid. Right? 400, 350, 400 quid. Dependent on the value of gold and stuff like that, right? So they'll buy 1,000. And because they're buying in bulk, obviously they've got the purchasing power to get a discount. Okay? Sorry, I need to change the stream title. So they've got the purchasing power to say, hey, I'll buy 1,000 at £400 off you, right? So our company now, okay, Westminster Portfolio Coins has got 400 of these. I've got 1,000 of these at £400 each. So on our website, we go and we say, okay, here's what we'll do. We'll charge £600. So it's only £20 more than what the Royal Mint is doing them for. But we offer you the peace of mind of being able to split the payment over 10 months or whatever it is, however long you want to split it over, okay? So that gives you peace of mind. You don't have to pay it all straight away. Nice and easy, and it's spread out for you, right? So that's one way that you justify the increased price. Now, I'll come back to that in a second. That becomes important later. But just to sort of touch on how our company... So now we've purchased all these coins. We've got 1,000 of these proof sovereigns. We've spent £400 on each of them, okay? Now we need to sell them. Well, how do we do that? I'll tell you how. I'll tell you exactly how. So what will happen is, this advert's from 2019, or 2017, sorry, but it gives you an insight, gives you an idea, okay? So this is Harrington and Byrne. This is like a company that does this stuff. What they will do is they'll put an advert out in the paper, yours for only £249. So what they're doing is they're advertising, going back to what we spoke about earlier, the bullion version of the coin. So this is the investment version of the coin, right? And what this does is it touches on both the investment aspect, so people that want to make an investment, yeah? And further to that, it's also touching on the collectability aspect. So in 2017, there was a special mint mark, not just on the proof coin, but on the normal coin as well. So they put that all in the advert to sort of pique the interest of the collectible side as well as the investment side, right? So, listen up. Let's say a customer calls in, okay, Mr. Jones. Let's say Mr. Jones picks up the advert in the paper and he sees this, okay? Now, there's lots of different types of customers that call in. Some are calling in for an investment and just want to spend a bunch of money on gold. Other people just want something collectible or something like that, right? But one of the most kind of common type of customer that would call in, okay, would be someone who's like, say, a granddad. And like I said earlier, they've put a bit of money aside. They've got maybe £1,000 or £2,000 or less or more to spend. And they just want to put that aside to pass down to their family, right? So they want to pass it down like an inheritance. That was one of the most common types of customers that you would get, okay? So we're gonna think about that type of customer. So the customer that's calling in is Mr. Jones. He's got a grand to spend. He's thinking about buying 4 of these sovereigns, and he wants to put them aside as in like an inheritance for his kids when he passes away. Okay. Now here's where the salespeople come in, and the first real hardcore stage of the grift comes in. Okay. So Mr. Jones calls you up. Oh, hello, Mr. Jones. In fact, he'd call you up, or he's sending this slip. So you'd have a slip with Mr. Jones's number on. So you'd call him up, or he'd call you, and you say, "Hello, Mr. Jones. It's Chud here from what's the name of our company again? It's Chud here from the Westminster Portfolio Coins of London. I'm calling about your recent inquiry into these sovereigns that you made in the paper. Can I just confirm your details, please?" You confirm the details, right? And then what you do is essentially get this guy by whatever means you can, as long as you don't break the rules and don't break the law, which we'll get into. Whatever means you can, get him onto a proof coin. Because here's the thing, quite often with these coins here, the company is selling them as a loss leader. Do people know what I mean when I say loss leader? So a loss leader is a product that a company sells in order to get people into the door so that they can be sold other items. So what loss leader essentially means is that they're selling this at a loss to themselves, or maybe just at cost price, right? So it could be that they've actually paid £249 or less. They could have paid £240 or £230 a coin. Sorry, a £260, £270 a coin. So they're actually selling it for less than they've purchased it for, because what they're relying on is the sales team to speak them into buying a more expensive proof coin. So remember, on the first day of the release, say, we're offering this in the paper for £249, and we've got a proof coin that we can offer for around £600, say, yeah? So what does that process look like? So first of all, what the salesperson has to do is they have to explain about what proof coins are. So you have this little script that you use, or you come up with, or you think of, and you say, right? So you essentially talk about, first of all, how proof coins are better quality, okay? And then the next stage to the grift is very, very clever. Deviously, horrifically clever, but very clever. Because here's the thing, and we'll come back to this later as well. This isn't a coin collectible companies are not a regulated financial service or anything like that. If you go and buy a mortgage or you go and make an actual investment, right? There's an organisation called the Financial Conduct Authority, which oversees financial transactions and stuff like that. And there's regulations in place, and you have to adhere to them and stuff like that. Because this isn't an investment, this is like a consumer product, right? This is a collectible coin that you're going to be selling them. And although it sort of hints to it in here, we're not selling it as an investment per se. We're not like an investment broker or something like that, right? So what you do is, here's the challenge. You have got to convince Mr. Jones, looking to put some money aside for his family, you have got to convince him that he's better off buying the proof coin, right? You've got to make him think that it's going to be a better investment and it's going to be worth more, but you're not allowed to call it an investment. You're not allowed to explicitly say the proof coin is a better investment for you. It's likely to increase in value. There's certain things and words and phrases you've got to avoid. And the reason for that is because obviously these companies don't want to be regulated. If like the Financial Conduct Authority came in and started regulating these coin collection companies, right? It would be game over. They would have to change significantly. So they've carved out quite a good little niche for themselves where they haven't got that much oversight, except for like consumer oversight that you get on all consumer type products, which we'll get to later. But basically they've carved this niche where they're not quite covered by the financial regulations, but they can sort of hint at stuff and maybe make it sound like it's going to increase in value without doing so, right? You can't use the term futures. Let me give you an example of how fluid it was. So when I first started at this company, right, you used to be able to use the phrase future potential, okay? So you could say this coin has got a great future potential, okay? Now, that was fine for a little while over the course of time, the legal team basically said, we've reviewed this. We're concerned that the term future potential is too close to investment, so you're not allowed to use it as salespeople anymore. You've got to use something else. And as you can imagine, the sales team was not happy. The sales team wasn't happy. So Checker makes a good point. So Checker asks, can you talk about the previous increases of certain proof coins historically? There must be historic examples of dramatic increases in value. So this is where it starts to come into the grift on the part of the salesperson, okay? And bear in mind, look, I'm not happy with like what I did and the conduct I engaged in while I worked for this company, okay? I look back on it and I'm ashamed with what I did whilst I was there, okay? But like, you know, it is what it is. Unfortunately, I did it at the time. If I could turn back time, I would never have worked there. But I did. I did what I had to do to earn a living. You know, it's, you know. But this is where the salespeople, like the pitch comes in, okay? So the first thing that you would hit them with, and basically, you would have different sort of avenues. You would have different sort of avenues that you would go down to try and convince them dependent on what their needs were, okay? So for example, there's some people that were just collectors. They were quite rare, like I say, and you could convince them sometimes fairly easily to like the proof stuff. Or and on the other side of that, there were people that were like the hardcore investors and were just interested in the gold value, so it was difficult to speak them into it. But Mr. Jones, looking to put some money away for like his family, that person is primed. They're like putty in your hands, right? Because you can tap into the emotional stuff. You can essentially manipulate them. You can manipulate them emotionally to do what you want to do, which is to buy the proof coin, okay? So you use whatever was at your disposal. So Checker, that's one good example of the kind of thing that would be utilized, right? So you would say, well, the thing is with the proof coin is that if you look at past proof coins, you can see what happens with them versus these bullion coins. So for example, the bullion coin at this time last year was £279. Because the value of gold is decreased, that same coin is only selling now with us for £249, right? However, this coin here from last year, when it first came out, was the same price as this coin, £600. But now we are retailing that coin for £1,200. So its retail value has increased double in the last year. I'm kind of exposing another part of the grift, which I don't want to go into just yet, but we'll get to that. Anyway, so essentially what you were doing, and it starts to intertwine, and you'll see in a sec, but you're not talking about like what the real value of something is in terms of like, you know, you bought some, you know, obviously gold, you can track how much it is and how much it's worth and the flow and ups and downs and stuff like that. But what you're kind of highlighting is like, well, with these proof coins, they're going to be worth as much as what someone is willing to pay for it. And you're using the term retail value, which, you know, when I was there at least, you were allowed to use. Retail value is increased. Right? So that's the sort of thing you would do. Essentially, you would say whatever you could within the rules to denigrate the idea of buying gold and promote the idea of buying proof. Okay, that was the whole thing. Whatever tool you had at your disposal that wasn't breaking the rules, you would say it to get it done. You tap into their family. If they said no, you'd start putting pressure on them. You do fear of missing out. Oh, there's only so many of these left. You know, we've only got so many in the vault currently. They could be gone. The next batch that comes in might be more expensive. We'll get to that in a sec. You know? Basically, any tool at your disposal you would utilize. Okay? So, is everyone with me so far? Is everyone understanding the grift? So, you'd purchase large allocation of official mint coins. Okay? And then, further from that, so you would advertise the bullion. At great price. When someone calls in, then pressure sell proof. But the trick is, you'd be expected to do it in a way so you're not really pressuring them. But you know, it was very pressured. It was very pressured. You know, you would be expected. You would be expected. Yeah, Spitfire. It's called upselling in inverted commas. That's what it's called in the industry. It's called upselling, right? But really, you know, you want that. Listen, you want that old fucker to buy the coin, because if they buy the bullion, you don't get paid bonus on that, and you get shit off your boss if you fuck it up a lot. If you don't, you know, if you have a day without selling coins, you get shit off your boss. You don't get a bonus. You know, we'll get into the environment of it later, but it's very toxic, very hardcore. You know, typical kind of sales office type stuff. Like, you know, like Boiler Room or Glengarry Glen Ross, always be closing. Coffee is for closers only. That kind of thing. It's that sort of environment, yeah? Yeah, it's like you're doing them a favour too. Yeah, I'm doing you a favour. Anyway, look. So that's just that's the first aspect of that. It goes on, however. It goes on. It goes on, okay? Let me just... It goes on. Okay? So, you purchase a large allocation of the coins, and then you pressure sell, and then what you do is you start pressure selling to people that call in. Now here's where it gets really clever. Here's how it gets really clever, okay? This is where it really starts to get... Ooh, this is where it starts to get real grifty. So I mentioned earlier about like the retail value of coins going up, right? So here's what happens. So the Royal Mint are still selling this. They've got 8,000. They've sold some to the companies, like I said, okay? They've sold some to like companies and whatnot, and they've got some they're selling to consumers directly. Let me ask you a question. When the Royal Mint directly sell out of this coin, what do you think happens? So they've got no more coins left to offer consumers. What do you think happens then? Yeah, that's it, you got it. This is where it starts to get really nasty. This is where it starts to get really, really, really nasty. So, these companies, and our company now as well, Westminster Portfolio of Coins, okay? Let's say we've sold, out of our 1,000, right? We've sold 300 at £600. But we then find out that the Royal Mint has sold out and they can't offer any to consumers anymore. So they're no longer able to offer the coin for £580. So what do? Line go up, stonks. So we, at Westminster Portfolio Coins, turn up the heat. We start to turn the heat up, okay? So, as coins sell out at Mint, we start to turn up the heat, aka the price, okay? So this coin that we're selling for now £600, Royal Mint sells out, another 100 on straight away, 700 quid, bang. As simple as that. As simple as that. As soon as the coin's out of the mint, £100 goes on the price straight away. Okay. And then as time goes on, it goes higher and higher. So it goes like, you know, I mean, in some cases, a coin that originally was sold for 580 quid from the mint, our company, Westminster Portfolio Coins, as little as 6 months later, 8 months later, could potentially be selling it for double that. Round about double, if not a bit more in some cases. So a coin that was originally available for £580 could easily be being sold for £1,200. Right? Now there's 2 points to that. The first point is that there hasn't been. It's obviously like it's similar to the ticket thing. It's like an artificial thing, right? Because the companies have gone and bought thousands of these coins. They own thousands of these coins from the mint collectively, right? They've bought a bunch of this allocation. So they've taken coins out of the availability for consumers for their own needs, and now they're putting the price up. So they've artificially created this. Yeah? And that's the other thing, Zaf. I mentioned it earlier. I touched on it, right? I touched on it. So I said that you'll pressure sell people to call in. Here's the beauty of the grift. This action here, which is, in my opinion, incredibly unethical, essentially just putting the price up after creating an artificial, what's the word? Like, lack. What's the word? Artificial, what's the word I'm thinking of? Scarcity. Yes, yeah. Our company, Westminster Portfolio Coins, have created an artificial scarcity. We're then capitalising on that by putting the price up. But then do you know what we're doing? We're using this to convince people to buy the coin. It's shocking. So like we'll say, okay, so the reason you want to buy the proof coin is if you look at last year's proof coin, right? It started out at £600. We now retail that coin for £1,199. Its retail value has doubled. We've completely, out of just the desire to make more money, artificially inflated that price ourselves. We just put the price up. You go on the website. The director goes on, 600, 1,200, bang, there we go, done. There's nothing tangible that's happened that really justifies that increase in price. It's literally the companies just artificially creating scarcity and putting the price up. And then we're using it as a point to sell to the customers as to why they should buy it. Do you see how circular this is and how grifty this is? It's shocking. It's diabolical. It's absolutely diabolical. It's sold out from the Royal Mint. Here's what you'd have to. Here's what you would say if you were being honest. Okay, it's sold out at the Royal Mint because we bought thousands of them. Now, not only are we putting the price up so you have to pay more, but we're going to use that price increase to justify why people should buy it in the future. We're basically ripping you off. What do you think, Mr. Customer? Hey? How about that? What do you reckon? And here's the thing as well, okay? Here's the thing. And we'll get into this with the other coins too. But these proof coins that people are buying, even at the price at the Royal Mint, if someone's looking to leave a nest egg in an investment, broadly speaking, this isn't a good way to do it. When you're buying a gold coin and you're paying that much of a premium over the gold price, you are going to have to expect the coin to do magic things for it to be sold for more in the future. And the thing is, any of these coins we're talking about, will, with like a gold bullion coin, right? Its value is rooted in the gold. So you can always rely on that. You can always rely on the intrinsic value of gold. Again, placed on it by society, but broadly speaking, that's how it works. You rely on the intrinsic value of gold. With these, you're essentially relying on the idea that people in the future will be willing to pay premiums for these coins. And there are some coins, don't forget, like I said, there are some coins, because of their rarity, that are worth a lot of money. But there's 8,000 of these. And certainly, like, buying it at this price maybe is a punt. But if you want to do it for that. But I wouldn't advise it, but like maybe. But when you're spending twice what it's retailed for originally, like eye-watering markups, forget about it. You're just getting ripped off. It is, yeah, it's scalping. It's basically like a version of scalping. But because there's no regulation, and because no one really talks about this ever, there's never any focus paid on it. No one ever thinks about this. But this is a massive grift. This is a massive thing. Yeah? How much would the salesperson get from selling one of these? Okay, so you get your basic salary, which I don't know what everyone's basic salary is, and obviously the bonus scales are different, right? But depending on how much you'd sold in a given month, you would get paid between, I think, maybe 2 to 5% of the value of the coin is what you'd get paid. So, and that's scaled based on how much you've sold, right? The company's raking the rest in. Just raking it in. Just like this. Slurping it up. So anyway, that is the first part of the... We're only at the first part. Okay, so I just want to ask a question to chat. What do you think so far? What do you think so far of this? Okay? We're not even at the worst of it yet, in my opinion. It gets a lot worse than this, okay? It is disgusting, yeah. And just to remind everyone, this isn't the case of like, oh, this is just all rich people buying these. I'll remind you again, the vast majority of people you speak to doing this are working class boomers who have managed to save, and I use that term affectionately in this case, who have managed to save and put aside a little bit of money. I mean, Mr. Jones ain't rich. He just wants to set aside a little nest egg. He wants to set aside a little nest egg, okay? So, that's part one. We'll move on to part two now. But before I do, I would just like to do a quick shill, because I've been streaming for an hour and a half now, 2 hours with the pre-stream, and I want you to pay me money, okay, for revealing this to you. No, seriously though, thanks for tuning in. 150 viewers is really cool. Had some great raids, so if raiders are still here, or the viewers are still here from the raid, I really appreciate that. I'm about to go into even more disgusting detail about this, okay? It gets worse than this, okay? If you like what I do and you want to support what I do, there's a few ways you can do that. If you want to do that, the first thing you can do is sub to my YouTube channel. That doesn't cost you anything, okay? And you get access to hundreds of videos of all sorts of different types, mainly lefty shit, okay? And further to that, if you join my Discord, that's free too. You get access to a wonderful community of people who talk about all sorts of stuff. It's good, you know, it's well moderated. We have a nice friendly atmosphere. We don't want people to be overly antagonistic. We try and be kind to one another, engage each other in good faith. A little bit of insults here and there is okay, but don't go overboard with it, okay? I don't have an OnlyFans, but what I do have, don't forget to follow me as well. What I do also have, if you do want to support me a bit further and you want to chuck some money into the Chud Logic pot, you can chuck some bits my way. You can sub to me on here. You get access to obviously the emotes, which is cool. If you want to just stuff cash directly into my pockets, you can do so. You can do so there at my Streamlabs link. And bear in mind, what are you doing when you pay that? So all of my content is available at no cost. You don't have to pay anything to access any of my content anywhere. YouTube, Twitch, all of it available, no paywall. Okay. What you're paying for is supporting the channel, supporting what I do. You're helping me to continue to do this. I do this on a full-time basis now. So this is my full-time thing that I do. I stream 5 days a week. You know, looking to improve things, make things better. Things are good. It will always be scuffed, but there's some exciting plans coming up. Just had the year's anniversary of my first stream.
Here's the 100th sovereign for the coin stream.
Zach, thanks so much for the $3. Here's 100 sovereign for the coin stream. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thanks, Zap. And as you can see, text-to-speech is switched on as well, so you can get the memes going too, okay? But yeah, thanks very much, Zap. Appreciate that. And thanks to anyone else in advance that does choose to support the Chud Logic News Network. Chud OnlyFans when? At some point. But look, okay, without any further ado, speaking of grifting, I tell you what, listen, I'll give you some little treats. I'll give you a few little treats as like the stream viewers, because I might split this up or cut bits out and stuff, so it's a bit more smooth on YouTube. But yeah, I remember like I used to like one of the reasons that like I struggled is because I really did struggle with the ethics of this even whilst I was there. But obviously, like with the pressure and you being egged on, you've got bills to pay. You know, at one point my job was under threat before I eventually got fired because I hadn't sold enough. They were going to move me to a different department, doing some shit job. Like I was fucking under pressure. So you end up caving and doing some fucking unethical shit to get it done. It's horrible. You know, I'll speak a bit more about the atmosphere at the end, but like, it's fucking hard. It's really fucking hard. Like working in sales. You know, it's great because you don't have to have any sort of like official training to do it. You can literally just walk in and get a sales job. But the pressure you're put under, like a guy that, I mean, this whole experience gave me mental health issues that compounded issues I had already. But like the guy that sat next to me, he like just left one day, just disappeared for like for like a month, because stress and the pressure. Hey, thanks so much for the bits, appreciate it. That's awesome. It just got to him, and he disappeared. Came back for a little while, and he was there when I got fired, and then left again. Fucks you up. Fucks you up. It's not just a bunch of predatory assholes like rubbing their hands together. It's fucking, you know, there's people in there that like do want to do the right thing, or you know, some people do it a better way, but some people there were just vicious, like they were assholes. But again, it's like, yeah, sure, maybe there's some personal things you could say to them, but like when you got a family to feed and this is offered to you, an easy way to make money, I don't know. Anyway, should we move on to the next stage of the grift? Working in sales for Sam Ash Music and Guitar Centre did absolute horror to my mental and physical health that I still feel lingering effects. Absolutely. Yeah, working these kind of jobs fuck you up. They absolutely fuck you up. Okay, right. Here we go. This is going to be the next bit. So, next up, we're moving on to stage 2. So watch stage 2 of the of the grift. So the next stage is this. Okay? And bear in mind, like I'm touching on the main ones I can sort of come to mind, but there's obviously lots of different ways and scams and whatnot and aspects to it. But so the next one is the unofficial proof coin grift. Okay? So you need to make this a bit bigger. What was it, 20? I guess 20. Okay, so this is where it gets good, okay? This is where it starts to get good. This is where it starts to get really good. Oh, this is going to be great. Okay. Okay. So, it is not enough for these companies to just rely on the releases that come from like the official mints, okay? So you can't just rely. You can't just rely on the Sovereign, the Krugerrand, the Britannia, the Eagle, the Australian Koala, the Canadian Maple Leaf. The Queen's Beasts was another popular series. You know, you cannot just rely on the official releases that come from the mint.
They're now following.
So, oh, little teaser for you. So, what do you think? What do you think? So we can't rely on just the official releases. What do you think these companies do in order to ensure they've got plenty of products to offer? What do you think they do? Martin's on the ball. Martin's on the ball. Well, it's quite obvious, really. Let's make our own. Hey, we don't need to rely on the mints to make coins. We can make our own. Now, I'm just going to show you this advert. Okay? We'll go through it as we go. There's a couple of features to these coins that are important. So just to introduce it. So what will happen is they will mint. These companies will like mint their own coins, or they'll instruct a third-party company to mint coins that are like exclusive to their company. Okay, so let's get into this.
There now follows a world-first gold coin announcement from Hattons of London.
Today, Britain faces greater political uncertainty than ever before in our lifetime. But whatever the future holds, I feel we have much to celebrate in this great nation of ours. Democracy, enterprise, diversity, innovation, all are cornerstones of life in Britain. To celebrate Britain, a new four-sided gold quarter sovereign coin has been struck for the first time ever. Call now.
This one's just celebrating Britain. This one is just celebrating Britain. Okay. Okay, so listen. There's a few features to these, okay? And we'll get into them all in a bit. But first of all, the coins tend to have quite low mintages. I've seen coins like this minted as low as 500. So there's only 500 that are available in the world. Okay? Also, they tend to be minted associated with like places that have got some renown. So this one is Tristan da Cunha. Who knows what Tristan da Cunha is? Apparently it's some island somewhere. I once told a customer that it was the Queen's favourite place to go for a holiday. I don't know why I said it. It just came to me in a flash, and I said it to a customer. So that's Tristan da Cunha. You've also got ones that are from places like Guernsey and Jersey. Here's a little thing though. These coins have never seen Tristan da Cunha. Probably not Guernsey or Jersey either. They're made by some coin company somewhere. They've just got the rights to mint coins for this area. Yeah. So the first point is low mintages. Second point, minted at like Guernsey or Jersey. Not like an official, UK coin. It's from Guernsey or Jersey, something like that. Okay. Now this one is just celebrating Britain. Okay, so I don't know what that's about. I'll be honest, I didn't actually know this was just celebrating Britain, to be perfectly honest with you. But normally they're made to commemorate what I call like the boomer bait events. So it's normally for like royalty, like a royal anniversary or a royal birthday or something like that. Also, what's really popular is they'll commemorate some combat event, which we'll get to in the next coin. Okay, so it'll be to commemorate like a World War II battle or World War I battle or the end of World War I or whatever. Yeah. And the final aspect is that often they will have some sort of weird gimmick. Okay. So, as you can see,
this gold quarter sovereign is yours for just
the gimmick
£95.
here.
To order, call 0800 954.
You can see what the gimmick is. That's right. It's a square coin. Because why not? It's a square coin. Like, because that makes any difference to something. A square sovereign. No, sovereigns aren't pure. Sovereigns are 22 karat gold. Sovereign can be 22 karat gold. The pure gold coins in the UK are called Britannias. Look at that. A square coin. Okay. So here's what they do. See, the unofficial proof coin grift. So companies mint their own. And by mint their own, just to be clear, I mean they'll normally instruct a third party. They don't like mints in the business, but they'll like instruct a third party to do it on their behalf, And they're gimmicky. Very gimmicky. That's the key thing here, okay? Anyway, let's watch the rest of this advert so you can really get a taste of what's going on, alright?
1063. In the corners of this four-sided gold coin are the national floral emblems of the four countries of the United Kingdom.
Oh my God.
And at the centre sits the imposing figure of Britannia. One of our longest-serving coin motifs, Britannia has appeared on coins of every monarch since 1672. Only 4,999 of these coins have been minted, meaning that fewer than one in every 5,000 UK households may own one.
So, sorry, another point to make as well. So the way that this one works, it's not like the other coins where you sell the bullion coin version and tell them to the proof. This is a proof coin, but they'll sell the smallest version of it. So in this case, they're selling the quarter sovereign. Now look at the size of it here. It's 14 millimeters in diameter. It's fucking tiny. Okay, it's fucking tiny. That's right, Checker. So obviously you're paying a premium. But again, this isn't the product they want to sell you. We'll get to that in a sec. Okay, let's watch the rest of this. I've got one more to watch.
Your household does not miss out on this distinctive commemoration of Britain. The first four-sided gold quarter sovereign ever. To order, call now. There is a limit of 1 coin per household at this special price, and your purchase is covered by our 60-day complete satisfaction guarantee. The coin can be yours for just £95. To order, call 0800 954 1063.
What do you think? What do you think? The square sovereign. Oh, stupid. Honestly, I can assure you that is an absolutely stupid gimmick. Okay, I promise you, as someone that's worked in the industry, that's a dumb gimmick. All right, don't waste your money on stuff like that ever. Don't waste your money on any of this. Anyway, so I'm going to show you one more advert because this is the one we're going to dive into. Okay, this is the one we're going to dive straight into. All right. So check this out.
This year, we mark the 80th anniversary.
The reason I want to show you this one as well is this taps into the commemorative aspect of the war stuff, right? Again, like I say, boomer bait, okay? World War I, World War II commemorative coins, you got the boomers hooked straight away, okay? They're literally like picking up the phone, desperate to call in and waste their money.
Of Dunkirk, one of this nation's bravest hours, and an event that changed the course of the Second World War. Today we face a foe of a different kind, but again Britain has responded with that same Dunkirk spirit. To commemorate the anniversary of Dunkirk, a new world-first gold coin has been struck. The new coin, a solid 22-carat gold quarter sovereign, has a sandblasted finish carried out with sand from the beaches of Dunkirk. This is the first time ever that a quarter sovereign has been produced with this finish. By calling now on 0800 049 9922, you may own this world-first gold coin.
Sandblasted with the sand from Dunkirk Beach. Wow. I mean, what the fuck? That's the most ridiculous gimmick I've ever heard of. Dunkirk was a disaster. Well, we managed to save a lot. Listen, let's not talk about Dunkirk, okay? It doesn't matter what the boomers love it, okay? They're eating this up. That's like Delphine bathwater levels of pointers. Chloe, you're right. It absolutely is. Sand blasted with the sand. Oh, Jesus Christ. Homeopathic Dunkirk coins. So yeah, let's watch the rest of the advert anyway.
At the introductory price of just £99. The coin depicts the troopship Royal Daffodil, which, during the evacuations of Dunkirk, rescued over 7,000 of our servicemen, more than any other vessel. Only 3,999 of these coins have been produced, meaning that fewer than 1 in every 6,000 UK households may own one. Applications are limited to 1 per household. Call without delay to ensure your household does not miss out. The release of this coin will also support SAFA, the Armed Forces charity, in providing lifelong support for our forces and their families. So to own this coin at the introductory price of £99, call now. Your purchase is covered by a 60-day complete satisfaction guarantee and a 5-star Trustpilot rating. Call now on 0800 049 9922.
There we go. So that's that. I'm gonna show you what happens next, okay? Because it's important. Okay. So, I see a question in chat. How do they decide how many to mint? I don't know. Throw a dart at a board, see which number it lands on. I mean, they can literally make as little. Again, this is the other aspect of the controller. They can make as little or as many as they want. It's completely in their hands, like 100% in their hands. Okay, so they could make loads of these, but it's false scarcity. They'll choose to make a certain amount. Here's the thing, though, right? So again. Similar upsell path, but slightly different. So you'll have Mr. Jones call in. Oh, hello there, Chud. Hello, I've seen this advert in the paper for this Dunkirk coin. Is it true it's sandblasted with sand from Dunkirk? Yes, it is. It's sandblasted. That's correct. Okay. Oh, very nice. I'll take one of those then, please. Okay. So they've advertised the Court Sovereign. They've called in for the Court Sovereign at £99. Here's what happens next. What you have available is the full Sovereign. Okay. Now, if you look at this one, bearing in mind an official proof Sovereign was £580 from the mint. The full-size sovereign of this coin is an eye-watering £799. I mean, it's sold out now. It might have been cheaper at the time. But they've got it advertised at the moment for £799. That's for the full-size sovereign, okay? The gold in this would be worth, as of today, about 340 quid. Roughly. But they charge you 800 quid. And guess what? The mintage is lower than the quarter sovereign. So again, that's another aspect you use. So here's how you do this one. You say, okay, Mr. Jones, I see you're interested in the quarter sovereign. Fantastic. Just to let you know, do you know how much big a quarter sovereign is? No, I don't. Oh, it's only the size of a 5p piece. Oh, is that all? Yeah, that's all. Also, the quarter sovereigns aren't particularly collectible. There's not as much interest in them, which is true. Quarter sovereigns aren't as appealing as the full sovereigns, right? So you say, okay, look, I tell you what, I've got the full sovereign here, right? It's there's only 2020 that have been made, okay? There's only 2020 that have been made, so it's much rarer than the quarter sovereign, right? First of all. And yeah, it's much more popular, you know, much more likely to be of interest in the future. And here's the other thing as well, right? So this coin, you've got to understand, this is trash. This is absolute garbage. This coin is so shit, there's some coin dealers that won't even purchase these for the bullion value because they're too hard to sell on. They just don't want their hand in it at all. They won't fucking touch it. They won't fucking touch some of these coins. They're like, fuck that. Even for the gold value, they won't touch it. So they just don't bother, okay? These coins are absolute fucking trash, right? But this is where the grifts start to intertwine, right? So, you've got your own coins, okay? The quarter sovereigns, like we say. Here's what you do. So you advertise the quarter sovereign. Advertise the Q sovereign. Upsell to full. And also there's sets as well. I don't want to get too confusing with it all, but there's sets too. Like, oh my god, it's crazy how much fucking garbage you can get. Anyway, so you can, let's just keep it simple. So advertise quarter sovereign, upsell to full, sets, etc. Okay. Here's where it gets real fucking grifty. Okay. What some companies will do, right? Remember I said here about how we'll jack the price of coins up as they sell out and use that as a selling point to new customers. Guess what? That works this way too. So we will take like an official coin, like a sovereign. We'll sell it out at the mint, right? We'll jack the price up. We'll use that as a selling point as to why people should buy it. And then we'll use that to sell this shit like this. We'll use it to sell shit like this. At the very least, if you buy a coin from the Royal Mint, you know you've got an official Royal Mint coin, right? And it's going to have, even though normally you're going to be getting it less back than you paid for it in many cases, at least you've got the core value of it's a Royal Mint coin. You know, it's going to have some sort of desirability somewhere. Not that I'd recommend buying one, but like this is absolute garbage. So you know, it's like using the performance of a Ferrari, not quite, but sort of, to justify buying a Skoda or something like that. Do you know what I mean? It's like using something that actually has some prestige and using it to sell a load of junk. And even that in itself is all intertwined with the grift. Yeah? Fake Yu-Gi-Oh card. Just to get them to buy this shit. Oh. So yeah, these coins are just basically super cursed. Right? Now here's the thing, right? Is it ever worth buying one of these coins? I mean, my opinion would always be no, these are absolute trash, okay? The reality of it is this. Okay? The reality of it is this, right? There is a chance you could make money on these coins, but But in order to do so, you'd essentially need to bamboozle someone on eBay, okay? You'd need to put one of these on eBay and hope there's some schmuck out there who'll buy it off you for a higher price than you paid for it. You're basically leaving a lot up to chance. But any serious coin dealer, any serious antique dealer, any serious auctioneer would just laugh you out of the place. Well, they wouldn't laugh you out of the place. They'd obviously be kind to you, but they wouldn't, they'd be like, this is trash. Right? Yeah, essentially you have to pass the scam on, okay? So yeah. With these, you would be lucky to get the gold value back on them. Some places will do it. You'll get the gold value back, and that's it. You'd have to be, exceptionally lucky. Well, the value of a sovereign at the moment, if you sold one, bullion by post gives fairly good prices. But if the gold value of a sovereign at the moment, a single sovereign, you're looking at 303 quid. £303.20, and that's based purely on the value of the gold in them. Yeah? Okay, so, anyway. That's the... Again, just to recognise, these coins will always be worth as much as someone is willing to pay for them. If it's just the gold value, it's very simple. You look at what the gold value is and work it out from there. But if it's some collectible value, like allegedly, it's very difficult to quantify that. And again, you're relying on whatever someone will be willing to pay for it. So you're leaving a lot up to chance, yeah? Anyway, that is the second part of the grift, okay? Now, there is a third and final part that I'm going to speak about today. So we'll move on to speak about that. But I want to give a little treat. I want to give a little treat to the stream viewers, okay? The worst examples of these, okay, are gold-plated picture coins, like gold-plated coins. Stuff like this. Oh. One of the companies that I worked for, the company that I worked for, one part of the company would sell stuff like this. so sometimes, I don't know what these are exactly, but often they'd be like gold plated with like pictures on. And they'd only be like, well, you say only. I mean, for what they are, they're probably worth about £1. And you'd sell them for like 50 to 100 quid. But these were like the absolute worst examples of the kind of things. And like, I remember speaking to some of the salespeople that sold these, and they would have to like say really cringe things to sell them. So they would say like, oh, you can see here this Queen Elizabeth picture. She's actually wearing this hat. It's actually very rare that she'd wear this hat. So if you've got a coin with a picture on where she's wearing this hat, that could potentially have a significant impact on the desirability on this coin in the future. Oh my God. You just say, again, you just say, I'm not even joking. That is the kind of shit they used to say. I'm not even fucking joking. Fort Knox gold bar. How much does it weigh? In excellent condition. Is it an actual gold bar? How much does it weigh? I don't know about that. That looks kind of yikes. Oh no, that is solid gold. Look. It's an ounce of gold. No, it's not an ounce of gold. Oh, it is an ounce of gold. Yeah, it's an ounce of gold. Yeah, that's massively overpriced. Oh, it's layered gold. Oh my God, it's gold layered. That is an absolute rip-off. Holy fuck. Well, Piprod, actually, you ask a good question, and we're going to get into that, okay? We're going to get into that in the next section. But yeah, this is... It's basically plated. It's gold plated. It's another way of saying gold plated. But it's said in such a way as to like, do you know what I mean? Okay. Who's ready to move on to the next segment? Okay, this is okay. We're about to. Who's enjoying this anyway? I'm really enjoying going through this. I'm really fucking. Listen, I spoke about this before when I was a much smaller streamer. I was like I think a 15 viewer Andy when I spoke about this before, and now we've got like 163 people in here, so that's really cool. We're gonna go on to the next stage, and then there's some other stuff to talk about with this that I'm gonna go over, which really lays bare how disgusting it all is. Thank you. Yeah, listen, I worked in this for a long time, so I don't know. Listen, I tell you what would be ideal. Like, I'd love it if this spread and more information got out. Do you know what I would love? I'd love to see the look on the face of my old boss who used to run the company when the FCA agents come into the building to crack down on their fucking, shit. That would be fucking brilliant. How many subs have been minted today? Well, that's a good question. In fact, I should probably say, if you want to get hold of an exclusive Chud Logic sub, please do so today. Only 10 have been minted for public issue. We might have to make a few more though if it comes down to it. So if you want to go ahead and sub to me today for exclusive emotes and get the Chud stock going, if you want to just stuff money in my pockets, I accept cash too here. Or chuck me some bits, whatever you want to do. If there's anything you want to throw away, I appreciate it. If you can't, that's cool as well. If you want to save up for one of these coins, I understand. I know I've basically sold it to you, okay? That one is, yeah. Wait, Financial Conduct Authority. It's the Financial Conduct Authority. So the FCA is responsible for overseeing, financial transactions. But because buying collectible coins isn't considered an investment and it's not sold as such, they can't stick their big fucking snouts in. Disgusting. Did I spell disgusting wrong? I was typing it quickly. Nothing a quick fix can't fix. There we go. Okay, let's move on to the final stage of the grift, okay? Okay. So, the final stage of the grift, okay, is this. So, that is the Old Coin Grift, okay? So we've got the Old Coin Grift. All right? So, obviously, I've been talking a lot about recent coins, recent issues, okay? I did mention earlier in the stream that there were some coins that genuinely had a numismatic value associated with them through rarity, through desirability. And there are some coins that actually are worth, in some cases, far, far in excess of their actual, hard gold value. Okay? So, an example of that is the double eagle. Yeah? So it's as of today, the value of the gold, it's worth about 1,300 odd quid. Or about what? What's that in dollars? Pounds to dollars. What was it? Probably about 1,700, I'd say. 1,300. Oh wait, no, sorry, I'm doing it the wrong way. No, I'm doing it the wrong way around. Hey, yeah, about 1,729 bucks. There we go. See, my off the head conversions are pretty good. What with having to figure out how much Twitch are paying me. Celtic Frosting, thank you so much for the sub. I really appreciate it. I hope you're good. Use these as examples to sell their products. Now, here's the thing, right? So, that you're correct, Piprod, right? You would use this, you tell stories. So one aspect is you would use these old coins and you'd be like, Well, you see, the thing is, with certain coins, because of rarity, it will mean that they, and you tell them stuff like this. But the thing is, these are like oddities. These aren't the norm. Like, the idea of a gold coin, an ounce gold coin, being worth $7 million is like, it's just ridiculous. These are like the absolute rare cases, yeah? The chances of you going and buying from a retailer a coin that will be worth millions of dollars is highly, highly unlikely. This one has got a very specific history behind it, which led it to be being purchased for this much, okay? However, there are certain coins that exist, okay? There are certain coins that exist that will be worth more than their gold value, right? So, one example is this. So this is the 1989 gold proof sovereign, okay? This is the gold proof sovereign. Now, this sovereign was issued on an anniversary of the original sovereign, which was released under like Henry VIII. We don't need to go into the full detail of it, okay? Its gold value, as of today, is about £300, but due to a number of factors, such as the rarity and how desirable the coin is, at auction on the 6th of the 9th, 2020. So this is like this London Coins. This is like a coin auctioning place, right? So this is the kind of reputable place that if you were interested in doing like coin stuff, you would go to them and they would give you like a fair sort of crack of what's going on, right? It would be legit essentially, But anyway, so the gold value of the 1989 gold proof sovereign, okay, with the unique anniversary design, you can see there, it had a completely unique design, okay? So that's another point as well. It's not just about the rarity, it's about like what is the design of the coin, right? So this is, you know what a coin normally looks like in the UK. This is like totally different because it was replicating the original Henry VIII sovereign design. So this was like a major event in the sovereign world. Okay, this was a big deal. Now at the time, I don't know how much this coin would have cost. In like the late 1980s, gold was probably like about 100 quid an ounce or something. I don't know the exact figure. But I don't know, this might have set you back like 100 quid at the time, say. I'm totally guessing, I don't know for sure, okay? However, assuming someone bought this at the time and it got sold for auction, it's sold for £1,050. So it's gone up by like 10 times, say. To put it very simply. They aren't exact figures. So that's alright, Bought a collectible coin, it's sold. This coin, if you sold it for its gold value, you'd sell it for about 340 quid today. But it's gone, well, probably about 300 quid. But it's gone for 1,050, okay? So let me ask you a question. So, Westminster Portfolio Coins also sells this, okay? How much do you think Westminster Portfolio Coins would sell this particular coin for? Bearing in mind an auction house has sold it for £1,000. How much are we selling it for at our Grifty Coin Company? Ooh, Piprod. 1.5 grand, 2 grand. Okay. Piprod, I tell you what, I'm very impressed. So this is a company called Harrington and Byrne, okay? Check this out. Same coin, 1989, gold proof sovereign, exactly the same coin, same box, its own certificate of authenticity. £2,999. Piprod got it. 3 grand. 3 times markup essentially. Because you need to bear in mind, Harrington and Byrne would be getting the coin for a similar price to what it sells for at auction. They've got dealers and they've got people that they get stuff through. How would you sell this one? So, I don't know if I actually sold one of these. Okay, let me use the next one as an example, okay? Let me use the next one as an example. So, this one here. So this is, there's no entry on the website for this, okay? I sold one of these to someone before, okay? So this is the 2002 Gold Proof Jubilee set. This was released to celebrate Queen Elizabeth II's Golden Jubilee, okay? So it's got all of the normal currency, Maundy set, gold Maundy set, and it's got a crown, so that's like a big hunk of gold. Now, that went at auction for £6,500. We would sell it for, at the time, I think probably like 10k, maybe 12k. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head. Maybe more, something like 10k. So I sold this for 10k to someone. I feel guilty about it looking back. I feel very guilty about it. But hey, look, what are you gonna do? I'm trying to repent for my sins. Okay. Yeah, I got commission on that. Probably like 2 or 3%. So the way that you do this one, okay, the way that you sell this one is you first of all you tap into how significant the coin is, right? Because this is the first because they release a set of coinage every year, and every year they release silver Maundy money. Maundy money's got a history. The Queen used to give silver money to poor people, but now it's part of these sets as well. This was the first bit of golden Maundy money that I think was released, or something like that. So you'd sell it on that basis. You'd be like, hey, this is the only set that's got this golden Maundy money in. It's a complete set. There was only ever however many of these that were made. I think it was 2002. I can't remember exactly. So the chance to own this is unprecedented. We've only got literally one of these in. Normally you'd have access to a couple of these, but you'd obviously play it on. You've only got access to one. Someone else is very interested. It's very important that you secure this today. All I need from you is the first payment of however much, if you did it on a payment plan, is. You pay the rest next month. Whatever whatever tool you got at your disposal, basically. But you really got to tap in, and again, you tap into that. But also you do the retail value increase as well. Yeah, Chloe, at the companies I work for, and I know this is common in the industry as well, you could have a payment plan for these coins. Chloe, I don't know if you've been here the whole time. The important thing to remember: this isn't just rich people buying these coins. Some people might have a bit of money. Some are just poor working class people who have managed to work and accrue a bit of cash to spend on this stuff. But Zap, in fact, we'll get to... Okay, Zap, I'll tell you what. Later on, I'm going to explain how the companies get away with it. Okay, because that's a part of it. That's a part of it too, okay? Okay. And I don't have an example of that on the site, but I do have this. So this set here, this is one of the most prestigious sovereign sets that exists. So this is the 1937 set, sold at auction for 10,500. Okay, my company would sell this for 20 grand. £20,000 is what we'd sell this for. I mean, it's a very nice set. If you're into coins, this is an extremely prominent and essential set to have as part of your collection if you're super serious about it. But yeah, we'd sell that for 20 grand. The individual sovereign. That's it there. That's a half sovereign, double sovereign, £5 sovereign. The individual sovereign out of this set, we'd sell for £5,000. Half the value of the whole set for one coin. So yeah. The Old Coin Grift, really simple. Sell old coins for up to 3 times what they are worth. And I use worth in inverted commas because, whilst it is true that things are only worth as much as someone is willing to pay for it, oh damn, you get the idea anyway. There is like a kind of market value that's broadly associated with these coins. If you went into a coin dealer, like a genuine coin dealer, and said, hey, how much is this coin worth? They'd be able to give you like a rough estimate of what the market value is. Like what is You have to look at what it's being bought for, what it's being sold for. Those are the sorts of data you need to understand in order to understand what like a collectible coin's market value is. So buy old coins at market value. Sell them for a lot more. Okay. And here's something else as well. So another thing that would be done as well. Let me see if I can find it. Is what they do is they would also put together sets of their own. Okay. Let me see if I can find it. I don't know if it will be in here anymore. Let me see if I can find it. Queen Victoria Sovereign set. So, for example, what they would do is here we go. Ooh, Royal Mint getting in on the grift. So this is quite expensive, but for what it is, you know, they you know, this is similar. This is actually quite similar to what Harrington and Byrne are doing. Royal Mint are getting in on the grift. So they put together a set of like 3 sovereigns, and it's like, oh, these are the three sovereigns of Queen Victoria's reign, right? Because obviously, you know, as time went on, they changed the portrait of it, yeah? Google SEO manipulation, part of internet searches, that's part of it, yeah. So they just put together this set of sovereigns. So, you know, these sovereigns aren't really worth much numismatically. These sovereigns are fairly easy to get hold of, like Queen Victoria ones. So they're probably not worth much more than their gold value. But they put it in a nice box, and they'll charge you a premium for it and be like, oh, you got all the Queen Victoria sovereign there. But there's no real additional value in it as such, you know? It's just in a nice box. You're basically paying about, what, 800 quid? Probably, roughly. About 700 quid for a box. So, yeah. So as well as just the individual coins, which do have some collectability value and hiking the price up, they'd essentially just put together like sets of coins that sound good and charge top dollar for them. So they put together sets with historical sounding relevance. And charge top dollar for them. I think it was so basically back in the day, the Royal Mint used to have branches, you know, colonialism and all that. Used to have branches all around the world, like in Australia, Canada, etc. So we used to make sovereigns in different mints, 7 different mints. And there was one year where we minted sovereigns in India. I think it was 1917. So we did this set, which was a sovereign from each of the mints around the world. And even though the ones that were minted in India are fairly common, you can get hold of them quite easily, we used that as a selling point to be like, India only minted sovereigns for 1 year, so this set is extremely exclusive. I think it was like $5,000 or something. Probably worth market value about $2,000, $2,500. So yeah, basically just put together any old shit and sell it. Right? So yeah. So the other thing as well is, again, it's all connected. So you use that to do that as well. Again, hey, look, the retail value of this coin has gone up by 500 quid, and that's only because they put it up last month. But you can say that the retail value's gone up. So yeah, Well, that's it. You know, you. The thing is, and do you know what was really funny, right? In my training for this, they said, look, you don't need to know the ins and outs of coins. You just need to know one more thing than the person you're speaking to you does, and you sound like an expert. And that's true. You didn't need to know anything about it. You just literally need to all you need to do is know how to scam people, basically. Right? No, just enough to make it sound like you're an expert. And again, you know, I had trouble with the ethics of it. I did unethical things, no doubt about it, but like I struggled sometimes because I wasn't willing to go as far as other people were, you know? So yeah. So that's the kind of broad spectrum of the grifts that are going on. There's obviously other stuff too. You know, there's silver as well. There's all sorts of stuff I could go into, but I don't want to go into all of it. But you may be wondering, maybe you're wondering, how do they get away with this? Right? How do they get away with this? Because the thing is, I'm looking at this, like this is terrible. What here is good? So there's a couple of aspects to this, right? Now the first thing you need to understand, okay, is there is absolutely no specific regulation for this industry, okay? There's no regulation. So financial transactions, investments and stuff like that are overseen by an organisation called the Financial Conduct Authority in the UK. But guess what? Because you're selling a commemorative coin, and remember, you're selling it as a collectible, but the goal is you're selling it as an investment without saying as much, right? You're cleverly suggesting it's an investment, but you're not saying it is. So for that reason, it doesn't fall under the regulation of the Financial Conduct Authority, okay? The only protections that are available are consumer protections that you would get on any other purchase, right? So like the right to a refund, if it's not as described, you know, you get your basic consumer protections, and that's it. Okay, that is it. Now, you may also be thinking as well, okay, well, if these coins, you're selling them at prices that are that much higher than what can be found online, like with a quick search there, you know, you saw I was bringing up prices for these coins, which were like less than what were being sold for. There's an easy answer to that. As I said earlier, the majority of people are boomers. The majority of people you're speaking to don't have access to the internet or don't know how to use the internet properly. And part of the whole sales process, because you became their account manager, you deal with their account and you try and get as much money out of them as you can, they'd have a trust in you. They would trust you. So that leaves them as putty in your hands. They believe the stuff that you say. So you can tell them. You can say, hey, look, this coin's sold out of the mint. You know in the back of your mind there's places you could get it if you really want to get it cheaper. But you don't tell them that. You go, oh yeah, well, the thing is, you know, I could guarantee this for you today. Even if they've seen it cheaper elsewhere, you might be like, I might not be in stock. And I'll do a deal for you. I'll take 50 quid off. And I'll do it on installments too. You know, you'd obviously position it in a way as part of the sales process. But, you know, you basically take advantage of the trust that they built in you. And here's the other thing as well, right? Let's say you had the customer that calls in and kicks off. I'm not happy with this. I've seen it cheaper elsewhere. I'm not happy with your service. Blah, blah, blah. Guess what? Worst comes to worst. No problem, sir. Send us the coin back and we'll issue a refund. They basically just refunded their problems away. There were customers that had spent time buying products with us. They'd come back to us months down the line oh, I'm not happy with this. You sold me all these coins and I found out they can get them much cheaper. In some circumstances, the company would just have all the coins back and issue a refund if they were worried they're going to kick up a stink. They literally just refund their problems away sometimes, right? Yeah, they get more stock, exactly. Yeah. They buy it back from the customer for 600 quid. Oh, the price has gone up to 800, so we can sell it again for 800 now. Right? Here's a real disgusting aspect, though. Here's a real horrific aspect for you, okay? Listen. What medical condition has an impact on old people quite a lot? What sort of conditions can impact someone's ability to, make a purchase? Dementia, Alzheimer's, right? The policy on that, don't ask, don't tell. We would sometimes have cases, because obviously, there wasn't, obviously, if you're a salesperson on the phone, like, I'm not saying that it was a specific thing to target patients, people that have got Alzheimer's or whatever, but if you got someone on the phone making a big purchase, and there wasn't any, fucking yeah, go for it. There was a few occasions where you'd have the daughter call up, excuse me, you sold £10,000 of coins to my granddad. He's got fucking Alzheimer's. You don't know what the fuck's going on. What's happened here? Oh, I'm very sorry to hear that. If you just send through the information, will it be sure to issue? Lo and behold, information comes through. Guess what? Coins come back, refund gets issued. Bang. Refund your problems away. Easy peasy. Easiest thing in the world. I saw it loads. I saw it happen loads. Just refund the problems away. Because you've got to think about it. The customer's happy, right? Everything's back to how it should be. They're normally fine. They're not going to kick up a fuss about it. Oh, thank you so much, Chud, for helping me with this. I was really worried about it, but you put me at ease. Then there were the ones where it's like, there's dementia noted on the account. It goes to another agent. Oops, they've sold him another coin. Oh, didn't realise they had dementia. Sorry about that. Oh, don't worry about it. It's fine. Hopefully they won't call it again. And here's another thing as well that you might be thinking, right? Here's another thing that you might be thinking, possibly, right? How is it, then, that if someone has spent 20 grand collecting coins, and then they go and try and sell them, and they're only worth 10 grand, well, what about that? When people kicking up a fuss, phoning you up going, oh, I've tried to sell my coins, and they're only worth 10 grand, I spent 20 grand on them. Guess what, though? Here's the real kicker here. Guess what? Most of the time, when the coins are being sold en masse like that, the fucker that bought them's dead. Because remember, this is supposed to be for an inheritance. Okay? The fucker's dead. He's in the fucking ground. Or in the fucking morticians. Getting fucking his body filled full of that fluid. So fucking Mr. Jones, who spent 20 grand with me, right? Good old reliable Mr. Jones. Phone him up every Monday morning. Get a couple of grand out of him. Lovely. He spent 20 grand. Okay. He carks it. He's dead. Mr. Jones has passed away. What a tragedy. Okay. Miss Jones, granddaughter of Mr. Jones, comes along. Oh, what are all these coins here? Oh, these look good. Oh, I'll go and see how much they're worth, right? Maybe the receipts aren't there. Maybe they are. You're not going to spend all your time looking through it. You've got a whole house of stuff to sort out. Mr. Jones had a lot of shit. You got all this stuff to sort out. You're not going to go looking for all the receipts. So you take it to a dealer. And the dealer goes, I tell you what I'll do. I'll give you 8k for these coins, job lot. I'll give you 8k. The granddaughter was like, £8,000? Whew. Yes, please. That'll do. Little does she know how much has been spent on them. All she's seeing is the 8K. Lovely. Lovely stuff. And guess what? Guess what? If Miss Jones calls up and kicks up enough of a fuss, kicks up enough of a stink, guess what the company will do? That's right. They'll just refund all the coins. If it's that bad, if it's that severe, if there's a risk of going to the press, or it's going to leak out, or something's going to happen, just refund them. Problem solved. Refund. You get a refund. You get a refund. And that's an old meme, but you get the idea. Yep, they can just refund anything they want, you know? Oh yeah, they're making money hand over fist. So there we go. That is how it's not exposed. Because who's going to find out about this, really? It's a very niche industry. I mean, how many people in chat knew about this before I told you about it? You convinced me, Chad. I've got an interview at one of these companies tomorrow. Well, wait until I tell you about the conditions. We're moving on to that next. Someone asked earlier, what about like bullion coins? Now listen, just to be clear, I'm not here to tell you to invest or not to invest. That's not my decision. Okay? But I would strongly recommend you be very careful about buying collectible coins. Some may be worth it, but often they're not. Go to an official coin dealer, like a proper coin dealer. And if you're going to buy bullion, go and buy it from a bullion website, a reputable bullion website. Okay? So yeah. So, that is how it affects the consumers. Juster works at the coin company. No, I don't. In fact, I'll move on to tell you about this. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put on a bit of slither for the last bit, so we got something to look at, and I'll tell you about the conditions and what it was like. Okay? How about that? How about that? And then we'll do something else. But this is the thing, Danny. They're not really supposed to be used as an investment, but these companies have seen a way to position it as an investment without saying it's an investment and make a lot of money. So that's what they've done. The people that ran my company were in a totally different industry before they got into the coin industry. Like, totally separate. They're the kind of people that will just go wherever the money is. It's disgraceful. And it's, you know, I've enjoyed shedding a bit of light on it all. And I'm pleased that I've had so many people here watching. It's good. And we'll get some more viewers on YouTube. So anyway. I see Dr. Butler there. I can't do guest spot and trade horse stories. Well, the thing is, Dr. Butler, I'm sure you know from selling what you've sold before, and other people that have worked in sales selling this kind of stuff. It's horrible. It's really fucking horrible. Horrendous. The pressure is insane. The competitive nature of the office and the general toxic nature of it is horrible. If you're a newcomer, you basically get bullied. Until, like, you know, I think back and, like, at the start I was definitely bullied. Now listen, I was a bit of an asshole and I said some shit that I shouldn't have said. Like, I went into the office one day, and you know the video where that kid goes, "Hello, you C word." I went and said that to a couple of people at the weekend, and they got really annoyed with me. They got really annoyed with me. Then told the big boss on me, and I got in trouble. Anyway, over a period of time, eventually, I showed that I was actually like not a total asshole and managed to get on with some people. But at the start, like honestly, it was horrible. It was like, I don't know. I was doing my best to sell these coins. I was given shit data, but like I managed to do it. And then like, you know, I got into it. I got a bit of success selling the coins, like a little bit. I wasn't like the top dealer or anything, but like, you know, it was sort of seen that I was doing well and I was respected by the people that had bought me on, and you know, people were like, oh damn, that Chud's doing pretty well, isn't he? He's you know, selling some coins, doing good off the crap data. Let's give him some better leads. And you know, unfortunately, like I was dealing with like some deep-rooted issues of depression that I've had for a long time. You know, I'm talking like years. So that sort of reared its head, affected my performance. And obviously with, you know, with like society being the way it is about depression, especially amongst men, like, I mean, imagine trying to tell your boss or your colleagues the fact that you're just fucking ruined mentally. Like, fucking forget about it. You know? Especially with the way I was treated when I first started. I don't know. Maybe later on I could have talked about it more because I had a bit more, you know, leeway or whatever with the people. But yeah. And then eventually my performance dropped, you know, struggling. Finding it harder and harder. More and more difficult to close those deals. The ethics started. You cancelled the interview. Where you've been serious. The ethics started to fuck with me. I remember once there was this one guy and he was just buying all sorts. He was buying all sorts of shit. Like every time he called up, I managed to sell him some fucking, you know, grand's worth of gear or whatever. More, 5 grand, whatever. Just a bunch of shit. I put the phone down. That little niggling doubt. I don't know about that. Was he all there? I think he was. He seemed alright. Person next to me, he did a great job. Don't worry about it. He'll be fine. One day he called him up. He's like, oh, sorry, I've gone a bit too wild with the coins. I don't have any money for a little while. I'm like, oh my god, what have I done? But that doesn't matter. All that matters is the money on the board. I mean, yeah. Basically, some of these people were like little addicts, addicted to it, trying to squeeze some more cash out of them. God, I remember because obviously, like, I've got some good memories from like fun I had and larking about with my mates and fucking around and, you know, going on work nights out, work days out. You know, I made some friends there. But I don't know, it's just... I don't... You know, I find it difficult to like... And listen, I do think, me included, all of us acted immorally in one way or another, at one point or another. But the reality is, you know, the true issues, it's with the people that run the fucking place. They're the ones that have set it all up the way it is. They're the ones that don't care. You know, they're the ones that jack the prices up. All they care about is making money. That's it. That is it. I think the base salary was like 18k. Top salespeople were on like 50 to 60k per annum, something like that. But I don't listen. I never got up to that higher earnings, but like that sort of money isn't important to me anymore. You know, I could tomorrow I could like end all this. I could say, right, the streaming's over, The YouTubing's over. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not going to be an online figure. I'm closing everything down. That's it. I could walk and get like a sales job and be earning easily more than what I'm earning now, you know? But I wouldn't want to.
I found a gold mine for you.
Oh, hey, Catalina. Thanks so much for the donor. Appreciate it. And I'll have a look at that in a sec. Oh, OC. I'm really sorry. I didn't see the $10. My sincere apologies. Didn't come up with anything. I'm very sorry that I didn't see that, but I very much appreciate the $10. It's very much appreciated. I feel very supported right now. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yes, Hypotheticals app. Sorry. I'm sorry. You know, but the thing is, it doesn't. You know, honestly, the stress it would put me under to do that. I mean, I could do it for a little while. I'd be okay, but fuck me, it would probably fuck me up. Probably fuck me up again. You know. What's important to me now? So there's some stuff like in my personal life that's important to me, which I won't go into, but like there's a few things that are very important to me there. Other than that, just earning enough money to eat and pay my rent and pay for the basics that I need to pay in my life, and not have to like worry about coming to the end of the month and being like, oh shit, I can't afford food until like 2 days time or something like that. Which, you know, I'm kind of at. I am at now. I'm saving up some money because I need to pay my rent up front for 6 months soon. But like other than that, I'm yeah. You know, I'm past like going out. I'm past, you know, going clubbing and stuff. And when I was working in sales, holy shit, I was spending so much money on drugs, booze, going out, waste of money. Trying to basically work makes you depressed. Okay? Plus some other personal stuff. Work makes you depressed. And then like you use the money that you make from work to try and buy yourself happiness through like whatever it is, drugs, possessions, alcohol. Yeah, you try and fill the void with shit. Yeah, the drugs to cut. Yeah. You know, most Friday and Saturday nights I'd be out there getting totally fucked up. I'm glad to be out of it all. But, you know, it has an impact. Like, listen, I mean, there's people I could go and see if I wanted. Like, no problem. I could pick up a phone. Oh, hey, so-and-so, do you want to go and meet for a drink? Obviously, we're in lockdown, but potentially, theoretically, could do that. But, like, you know, I couldn't go out on a Friday night really anymore. I mean, I could, technically, but I wouldn't want to. And it's better just to stay away from that scene as well, because otherwise you end up in situations where it's like someone's got a bit of whatever with them and you're like, oh, okay, go on then, there's a one-off. Before you know it, it's 5 a.m, you spent 200 quid. You know, I try and see things more sensibly now. I try and live quite a fairly frugal lifestyle. Like, listen, you know, I don't just eat like baked potatoes or anything like that, you know. But my point is just like, I'm not going out and just wasting money on crap, you know. I'm trying to like just get my food, maybe get the odd McDonald's every now and then as a treat, you know. The Amprim stream, yeah. Be a bit hypocritical though. Pot noodles are expensive. But honestly, like, because, you know, for a number of reasons, like, I started doing this in my personal life. I was doing something else. That's a long story, but like, basically, you know, I'm fortunate that like I've been able to do this to the stage where I'm getting enough of an income that I can actually, you know, do this as a work, rather than having to go and sell my labour. Well, I am selling my labour technically, but you know what I mean? It's not like I have to go into an office or something like that. But you asked earlier something, boycott. I can't remember what it was. I wanted to answer it. Is the rent thing while you're waiting? Yeah. So basically, after January, I'm gonna have paid 6 months rent up front, and I'll need to continue to save 6 months rent, which is really annoying because I can't prove my income otherwise. But I'll be able to the Chudlogic Empire. But yeah, I'll be in a position where I'll be able to like invest a bit of money in like a .gg website and get the art done and stuff like that. I don't just want to like I know I'm scuffed. I know I'm a scuffed person, but like I don't want the website to be scuffed. I don't want to do a Sargon of Akkad launch. I'm glad you're in a better place. Thanks, Watson. Yeah, I mean, look, generally speaking, yeah, Lockdown's fucking with my head a bit. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I can't just go and meet someone. There's a few people I want to meet up with, and I can't just go and meet them. It's really annoying. But like, I'm things are pretty good. I'm happy we're doing this. I'm glad that I entertain people. I want this to keep going. Got lots of exciting stuff planned. But yeah, I don't know. It fucks with you. Like, honestly, I've had many, many dark moments in my life across a number of different periods, And the crux of it is, like, would I still have had these issues under, like, a different economic system? Possibly, yeah, sure. But I can tell you for certain that my issues were definitely exacerbated by the work that I have done, by working in sales, Honestly, it fucks your head up. And it's not there's other jobs as well, but like sales in particular, honestly, it's very, very stressful, very frustrating. It's very difficult. And I just, yeah. If you're ever dealing with the salesperson, like, I know it's difficult because some of them could be assholes. I know because I have been and I've worked with some, but, it's the pressures that are put upon them. That's what makes them be like they are, I don't know. But yeah, it was a very, very toxic environment.